Hello, welcome to my page. I am teacher Godfrey or Mr. Godfrey. Today what do we have? We have quadratic inequalities. So my students, those in Europe and America and Qatar, ask us to deal with this. So let us see how to deal with these quadratic inequalities. So first of all, we're given the question to solve x squared minus x minus 2 less than or equal to 0. Now it says show the solution set on the number line. So what do we do? The first thing to do is that you're going to sketch y equals x squared minus x minus 2. So that is the first thing you do. You sketch. Every inequality always have a sketch. So you have to sketch this. So in sketching this, you will have to put your y equals 0. So when you put y equals 0, you have x squared minus x minus 2 equals 0. How will you do? When you have x squared minus x minus 2 equals 0, so you factorize this. So this can be solved. This is a quadratic equation to factorize. So when you want to factorize, remember this is minus 1 here, this is minus 2, and your x squared multiply minus 2. So if you have a minus 2, I have a video on factorization, so you can check my page. You have so many videos on factorization. So if you have minus 2 as your multiple, what you multiply, and I have minus 1 as my sum, so I'm going to look for the factors of these two that when I add them, I'm going to get a minus what? 1, and when I multiply, I will get a minus 2. So what do I do here is that the factor will be 1 and 2. So how do we now place it? If you do 1 minus 2, you get what? Minus 1. 1 times minus 2, you get minus 2. So that means it will be x squared. That 1 means x. So plus x minus 2x, then minus 2 equals 0. So with this, you're going to group. Let's have a group. When you group this, you have x squared plus x. You group it. Minus, you factor out the sign. You have 2x plus 2 now equals 0. You brought out this negative sign, so this will be affected because if you multiply back this, you are going to get back what you have on top. Minus times 2x, you get minus 2x. Minus times plus will give us minus 2. So that is it. So let us factorize this now. Factor this is x, you have x plus 1. If x divides this, you have x left. X divides this, you have 1 left. Minus, bring out the 2. 2 is common. 2 will divide this, you have x. 2 will divide this, you have plus 1 equals 0. So what do we do from here? You are going to factor this again. You have x plus 1 is a factor. This and this, you pick up 1. What do we have left? You have x left here, minus 2 equals 0. So from here, I'm going to bring out my values for x. So x plus 1 equals 0, x equals minus 1. So x minus 2 equals 0, x equals what? X equals 2. So the two values of x is minus 1 and 2. Note that. So that when we put y equals 0, our x equals what? Minus 1 and x equals 2. So you have done that. Now you're going to put x equals 0 at the same time to know, because that will help us plot our graph. Because this is what we said, so I said you should sketch. So to sketch, you must put x equals 0, put y equals 0. So here now, I'm going to put x equals 0 on this same equation, on this same expression I have. So this same equation. So put x equals 0. What do you have? If you put x equals 0, that means this x squared will be 0 squared. X will be 0. So you have what? Y equals minus 2. So when x equals 0, y is minus 2. So we now go and give a sketch. So let's give a sketch of this. Let's give a sketch. This is my y-axis. This is my x-axis. So our x is minus 1 and x is 2 when y equals 0. So this is minus 1 and this is 2. So what we have here is our y is minus 2 when x is 0. So this is what? This is minus 2. So if you look at this, you know this is positive. So this will give us a parabola. You know, if it's positive, it goes like this. If it is negative, it goes the other way around. Positive goes this way, negative goes the other way around. So that is positive. So that means you get, and the shape is a parabola. So these are the two roots or two answers to the question. So we have this, and it passes that. So it passes through x equals minus 1 and x equals 2. Passes through that. So now, this is an inequality. Okay? So every inequality, to get the required region, it always starts from your y. You know, this is x squared minus x minus 2 less than or equal to 0. Now looking at this, it means your y is standing where this 0 is. So you locate your shaded region, or your required region from the y. So they said it is less than or equal to 0. That means your y, okay, is less than. So this line, see this line now, this is the reference point. This line, this point here is the reference line. So you start from there. So you're going to ask yourself, which part is less than 0? Because this is 0 here. This is your 0. So which part is less than 0? Is it the part above or the part beneath? Looking at your curve, you know your y is touching your y is touching minus 2 here. So which part from this 0 now, which part is less? Is it this part that is on top, or this part that is down? So you can see that the part going down is less than 0. It's less than 0. So it can be 0 and the part less than. And you can see how the curve goes. So all this part now is our required region. And when it comes to inequality, sometimes they'll ask you to shade the unwanted region. So all these parts now, they are unwanted because they are above 0. All these parts on the y-axis, they are greater than 0. So this is called the unwanted region. So this part that is not shaded is our what? We call it required region. It's called the required region. Okay, so now the required region, you can see where the curve is now, right? So the required region stretches between this and this, because you can see that it's between this and this that is required. So it is between these parts and this part. So it is between x equals minus 1. You can see that all these parts, see minus 1. X minus 1 and x equals 2. So what is, so that means it shouldn't be, it is between minus 1 and what? And 2. If you look at this part now, x is what? All these parts, x is from minus 1 going this way. It means x is greater than or equals to minus 1. Isn't it? Means that minus 1 is less than, means that minus 1 is less than or equal to x. And if you look at all these parts now, they are less than, right? That means x is less than or equals to 2. Right? So all these parts, they are less than 2. So that means what this region is telling us is that minus 1 less than or equal to x and less than or equals to 2. And they said we should graph it. So how do we fix that on the number line? So we look at the number line now. You have to fix that on the number line. Draw your number line here. This is number line. 0 is the reference line. So you have a negative 1 here. You have what? You have 2. You can see all these parts are bigger than minus 1. So you come here and put your minus 1 and you shade it. Okay? So which part on this line is bigger than minus 1? All these parts are bigger. So come to this part now. Put your what? Shade it, because it's also equal to 2 is involved. So now all these parts from here, they are what? Less than 2. So all these are less than 2. Can you see? They join. So this is the number line. So that is the number line of that particular word, of that particular quadratic inequality. I hope this is clear. Okay, so if this makes sense, this is not Olodo uprising. This is inequality. Graphing quadratic inequality. So if this makes sense to you, please hit the like button. You can share to those people. We have another video where we will talk about where it is greater than or equal to and see. We'll take more examples there and see what happens. So this is okay. I will give you something to do here. You can try this on your own. If that is okay, you can try this. If you can do this and see how that works. with you if it is important. So we have x squared. We have x squared plus 2x, and you have minus 15 less than or equals to 0. You can graph this and represent on a number line. Ciao, see you in the next video. Bye bye.